there you go again, looking so handsome. Oh, you have your way, and it's making me weaken. You and your stardust, walking like that. It's really getting too much, but I can't pull back, though I try to.
Woo! I have a spoiler alert for you today. We're talking about longevity in food and the secret to longevity. And the spoiler is, it's not really a secret. We all know what the answer is. It's just, why is it so hard? That's the question. All right, today we are going to cover food choices and longevity. We'll talk about our body as a whole, as opposed to all the little parts that go together and how they work a little bit. And we are also going to talk about what you can do. All right, so let us get going. Hey, OJ in the house.
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good too. Hey, Kathy, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right. So we're going to talk about longevity and food choices. And I already said the spoiler alert is that we already know what it is. So I'm going to get going and we'll get this show on the road. All right. Okay, when it comes to food choices and longevity, we've been, on the Deb show, we've been talking about our food that we eat. We had last week, we talked about addiction and processed foods. And I don't think there isn't any secret. That's the thing. There's no secret. We all know what we should be eating. So what should we be eating? So for longevity, there are a whole number of things that go into our whole health. But I will say that food is the foundation. And if you want to make changes to improve your health, the way that you can get the biggest impact, and it's been researched, is by your food that you're eating. There's all sorts of other things you could do. They're all good. They will all help you. There's meditation, reducing stress. Well, meditation can do that, exercise. But the biggest impact comes from your food choices. And the food choices that will give you the biggest impact are your whole foods, the ones that are nutrient dense. They've got all the minerals, the vitamins, and the fiber to fuel our bodies. The processed foods have a lot of oil, salt, sugar, other additives that are there to make you come back for more, because that's what they want. And also they really have taken out a lot of the minerals, vitamins, and fiber out of those foods. And really, they're all about convenience. And I came from a very demanding job, and it's very easy to get sucked in and eat all the processed foods. So I'm not claiming that I am, on a pedestal or anything like that, because definitely I get it. I understand. I've been there. I know how it works. But the more we can fuel our body and really get the whole foods in, the better for us. And while we're doing that, it's like eat the rainbow. So there's a variety of colors when it comes to our fruits and vegetables. And if you can eat the rainbow and eat a variety, that will give you more variety on the minerals and the vitamins that you're getting from your food. And in the research that we've looked at, one of the big things that we need for our gut health and our overall health is fiber, fiber, fiber. And most people, particularly, our whole processed foods actually are they strip out the fiber. So we generally are not getting enough fiber. And the other thing is our animal products do not have any fiber in them. So to boost up your fiber, you need to boost up the whole food plants based items you're eating. So that includes legumes, which are a great source of fiber and protein, your vegetables, your fruits, your whole grains, and then mushrooms as well, because mushrooms are really great. And just like they're in a whole kingdom of their own in the fungi kingdom, but they have amazing health benefits as well. They are a superfood, as they would say. So I say all this, but I don't think that what I'm saying is anything new. And I think that in general, we already know a lot of this. When 10-ish years ago, when I decided to go plant-based, I did a juice cleanse for 2 months. And when I was done, I decided not to add back the animal products because I knew that it was plant-based was healthier. I had no foundation on that. I had no research. I hadn't done a lot of looking around, but I just kind of knew that. And then as I went down my journey and started learning more, then it was just reaffirming what I already knew. So I think we all know that eating your fruits and vegetables is good for you. It's a matter of actually doing it. But I want to look at our body a bit. And so I'm going to look at our body as a whole. Look at that. Imagine your body is a high performance sports car. Okay. So think about that. You're a high performance sports car. So a high performance sports car needs the right fuel to run smoothly and efficiently, just as our body needs the right fuel to run and that's our nutrient dense whole foods to run smoothly. And so if you fill up your sports car, yes, which is your body, with the top grade fuel, then it's going to run smoothly. You're going to maximize the performance and it extends the car's lifespan. Now, if you are racing that car, you definitely don't want to put anything other than you're going to want to put the top grade fuel in because that's going to give you the highest performance and the best chance of winning the races that you're in. So it's the same thing with our food for our body. If we choose whole foods, plant-based that have vitamins and minerals, the antioxidants, healthy fats, all of that stuff, if we just eat a variety and eat the rainbow, we'll get all of that stuff in. And that is going to give us longevity. So if we do put a lower grade fuel into our car, then we're going to end up with some negative side effects where our performance of our high performance car is not going to operate as smoothly. The engine will not be at its optimal level. It will lead to a decrease in your power, and it'll be slower acceleration, reduced overall performance on the track. Your engine with a low quality fuel can damage the engine because the low quality fuel has contaminants or it's lacking the additives that you need to actually run the car smoothly. And over time, you're going to end up with mechanical issues. And also, a poor fuel can clog the fuel injector and the filters and other things. You're going to end up with more emissions and a risk of your engine failing. So the same thing applies to our body. If we aren't putting in the proper fuels, we end up getting, what is it? Inflammation, right? And then what happens over time, the body will clean out, just like the car will clean out all the bad stuff, but those filters eventually get plugged up and are not working as well as they should be. And so as our body is trying to digest and work hard to deal with the foods that are not the high quality foods, that high quality fuel, you end up in a place where it just can't keep up, because there are only so many hours in the day for the body to restore. And if the inflammation is coming faster than the body can clear it out, then you start getting a buildup of inflammation, and that leads to chronic diseases. So this is the reason why it's so important that we are fueling our race car. Think of our, think of yourself as a high performance race car, out on the thing. And I want to also just shift gears and talk a little bit about supplements. So if you're in the world of the high performance car, you might be able to use a lower grade gas and add some additive to it that might help. But it's not the same as putting in the high performance fuel at all. And maybe you add to your high performance fuel a little additive to help out as well. But I think there are so many supplements, and they're kind of being sold like the quick fix or the magic pill. And we can really get sucked in. And I've been there to all these supplements that are supposed to do wonders. There's a supplements and things for your brain health and your heart and your liver and your overall. And you can spend a small fortune every month on supplements and be taking a lot of them. But the bottom line is, if the car and the engine aren't that good to start with, all the supplements aren't going to help you out. So supplements, they're supplements. They're meant to supplement our diet. And we do need some supplements for sure. That's not that we don't need any. There are some things that we can't get very well from our food. So vitamin B12 is one, especially if you're following a plant-based diet, where it is highly recommended that you're using a vitamin B12 supplement. But the whole point is we should be starting with making sure that we're eating good foods and then supplementing with our supplements like our vitamin B12. But if we're expecting that we can eat a crappy diet and use the supplements as the way to fix that and repair that, it's a Band-Aid, and it doesn't do a lot of good, and you'll end up spending a lot of money on that quick fix and the magic pills that really aren't helping you. So it's not really easy to patch up our body and our fuel or deficiencies in our eating if we're not eating well with supplements. I hope that's clear as mud. I want to talk now about talking more on our body as a whole. I really want to emphasize that I know that especially in the supplement business, we might hear that, there's the way that our heart works or one of our organs works, um, and you really hone in on that specific organ or that function in our body, like hormones and stuff. Um, they can really figure out how it works. But the point I want to make is that we need to look at our body as a whole, because our body is a masterful engineering feat. We could never engineer what our body gives us, and so you should be thankful and grateful every day for our bodies. They are an absolute amazing machine. There's all sorts of processes in the body that are compensating here, there, and everywhere. And when you zoom in and you just look at one function all on its own, you're missing the whole picture. So I wanted to depict it with this picture in an art gallery. And if you look in at some of the fine details and you don't look at the whole picture, you're not getting the whole. You really have to look at the whole thing. And so when we see some of these things that are going on, like people are looking at maybe, like I said, hormones, it doesn't take into account some of the amazing processes that our body has to help us when we're, with our hormones. The same thing goes for our blood sugar levels and everything. We need to really step back and look at our body as a whole. And when we start to just focus on one isolated component, where it can provide us with good information and valuable insights, but it overlooks all the interactions and the synergies that are happening on a broader context of our body. So I want you to make sure that you are keeping that in mind when you're looking at things, and when you're looking at when you're listening to things, because there's a lot of information out there, for sure, a lot of information, and it can be really confusing. But always go back to the whole body, because sometimes when we isolate the process, it's great to know, but it can't take into account some of those compensating factors or the broader context and synergies that happen in our body. And some of that is that our body actually is able to self-regulate, and it has a way to balance itself out and come to homeostasis. So this is something that kind of is a testament to our body and the design of our body. But again, if we take things using what I've called the reductionist approach or view, where we isolate nutrients or components, we are overlooking all of these synergies and interactions that go along in our body. So I just wanted to kind of get that message out. And then there's the question, what can you do? So there's a lot of things that you can do. I mean, if you want, you can overhaul your whole lifestyle and go plant-based, which a whole food plant-based, which I recommend highly. But think about adding more vegetables. Get rid of those processed foods. Last week I said, get rid of the junk food. If you have trigger foods or junk food that you're eating, like potato chips or what have you, cookies, you should get rid of them and replace them with fruits and vegetables and whole grains. when you're eating maybe rice or pasta, instead of eating white rice or white pasta, choose a whole grain pasta or a whole grain rice instead. I know, especially with the rices, they take a lot longer to cook, but it's just a little bit of planning, right? Because I think white rice will take about 15 minutes to cook, whereas brown rice is about 45 minutes. So just do some planning or choose a quinoa. Quinoa takes 15 minutes. That's it. It doesn't take very long at all. And you could add some plant-based proteins like beans, lentils, or chickpeas as well. Maybe do that instead of the chicken one day, or add like a hummus, which is with chickpeas. That's a great way to do it. And then you can always make, I'm calling it a whole food green smoothie, because I know there's lots of smoothie recipes and things out there where they have they add supplements and powders and stuff. So what I'm talking about here is a green smoothie that has fruits, vegetables. You can have some flavoring. You can add some superfoods to it, add a base of some kind of liquid, and maybe add some fat like avocado or almond butter like that. But really, it's a whole food smoothie, not one that you buy at the store where it's got processed foods in it. And maybe what we'll do is this week talk about smoothies on Friday. And so maybe this Friday we might do a smoothie, talk about smoothies and how to make your whole food green smoothies. All right. So I just wanted to do like a bit of a foundation. I think a lot of the information is not surprising or earth-shattering for sure. I think it's just good as a reminder. I really want you to think about your body as a race car that needs high performance fuel. Otherwise, you're going to have engine problems. And maybe you already have engine problems, but the good news is you don't have to replace the engine. You just have to do some work to bring it back into the high performance that it was. So the good news is you can reverse things. It's not because your engine is got some failing going on that you can't get back to that. So we could take and really improve our longevity by making those changes. And I think we noted that even if you start when you're in your 50s or 60s to eat better, you can add a significant amount of time to your longevity. And for me, longevity is all about the quality of my life, not the quantity of the years that I will live. And so I want to be on that finish line, getting a world record at 105 for the fastest time on the 100-meter, and be that kind of person and not bedridden and poor quality of life. All right. Is there any questions about the information we went over today? No. Yeah, it's all pretty straightforward, I hope.
Yeah, the only thing I could say is when you were doing that car thing, I was thinking, I wonder if all of us need to replace our carburetors.
We might need to clean a few filters out for sure. That's where the detox comes in. A really good component. I love that. But yes, we do need to clean out the carburetor for sure, and keep the chassis looking good, All right. So today we talked a little bit about food choices and longevity, how to, the fact that we should be looking at our body as a whole, and also a few things that you can do to put a little better fuel in your engine right away, for sure. And definitely, if you can move it up to high performance fuel, that's the best, but at least move it up a grade or two. Add some more veggies, whole foods, whole grains. Maybe just pick one thing that you want to focus on and how you want to improve your what you're eating now. We will be back tomorrow. We're talking about longevity this week. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.